Racing takes place at Turffontein on the Standside track Saturday, the 1st of April 2023. It is April Fool's Day, and we look forward to the 10 races on the program. There's some nice races to look forward to, quite a few feature races, graded events. And Alistair, how are you doing? Looking forward to the 10 races on the program come Saturday.
Yeah, it's always a good card. Morning, Raheel. Hello to all the viewers. I trust that we find you well. Obviously, we recorded about 24 hours in advance, and it's been raining overnight in Johannesburg, but I don't think that'll have any bearing as far as the race meeting is concerned. It'll obviously take the sting out of the ground, but there's been very little rain over the last month on the Highveld. But that will make the staying races, one of them being the Grade 1 World Sports Betting South African Derby, perhaps a tad more complex than what it looks. That really now becomes a test of stamina. But I think overall, to call a spade, I've seen more encouraging, more inspiring Derby Oaks race meetings. Not to take anything away from the feature races, maybe there's a slight lack of depth compared to previous years, but I think the unknown about this meeting is probably the biggest draw card, that there could well be something bubbling under, certainly in the colts department, that in 12 months from now could be a superstar of the South African turf. We shall see.
Absolutely, looking forward to those races. That's races 6 and 7, which are both grade 1s. But we'll kick off in race number 1, which is a maiden plate over the 1160 meter trip, and this race goes off at 11:50. And as it is a 10 race program, no exotics will begin in race number 1. It will start from race 2 onwards. Favorite Cosmic Star at 17-10, 4-1 about Fort Lauderdale, Mia Fiore at 4-1 as well, along with the Sagan, who's trading at 5-1. Now, this was Cosmic Star. Alistair was beaten behind Axel Collins, who was a battling maiden, to say the least, but he got the job done. First round for Tony Peter. When we have a look at that race, I don't think we can take anything out of that race besides horse number 4, Cosmic Star, given that he was having only his first start. He drifted out to the market, but I thought he ran with quite a bit of promise.
I agree with you. I don't really like the start to the card. I've got a sneaky suspicion that number 1, Fort Lauderdale, will get very close to number 4, Cosmic Star again. There was a short head between them, and Fort Lauderdale was returning from an 8-month break. And of course, Byron Boertz at the winners at the Vaal on Thursday, when Godswood somehow managed to return to form. That really put the final nail in the coffin as far as pick sixes were concerned. I agree with you. I think Cosmic Star is obviously a little bit more upwardly mobile. He would have learned a lot from his first start, whereas Fort Lauderdale wouldn't have learned a hell of a lot from his third. But the fitness edge, I think, needs to be respected. The interesting one is obviously this first time with this well-bred son of Gimme the Green Light, number 6, Royal Guide, making his debut as a 4-year-old, a belated debut for this fella. Alec Laird's yard is one of many top yards in Joburg that's a little bit quiet at the moment, so maybe Royal Guard at least is one to keep an eye on. If there's any betting move, and then respect that. It won't take him to be really, really superstar material to feature in this race, but I'd just watch the betting with him. And a horse I've been on side with for a long, long time is number 8, Happy Vibes. Gets a valuable sex allowance, 57.5 on the back. We saw the Rocking the Time Away form not done much justice yesterday when Pour Some Sugar on Me still failed to win at 6-10. But I think Happy Vibes can at least earn a nice trifecta quartet inclusion. 1 and 4, the 2 to focus on in race 1, but respect for a few others to perhaps run nice races in the form of 6, 7, 8 and 9. I know I'm not really helping the cause here, but thank goodness it's not part of the exotics.
Tricky start to the day, but horses 4, Cosmic Star, looks to be the one that they could certainly have to beat here, but healthy respect for numbers 1. Keep an eye on number 6, 7 and 8 in race number 1. Now we're going to move along to race number 2, which is quite a competitive event. It's an MR93 handicap over 2,000 meters, where your favorite is Climate Control at 5-2, along with Zuzan. It's then 9-2 about Supreme Dance, Tababuya, Tamarisk Tree, 7-1 and Better Bar those. Now, Alistair, this is the start of the bipod. I thought quite a competitive race, a tricky start. There's quite a few horses in with chances here, and the 2 bottom weights are the ones that are top in the betting boards.
Yeah, again, it's another race that I'm not mad about. I know it's a small field. Climate Control's waited to finish in front of Zuzan for their run just 11 days ago. There's a kilo swing in favour of Climate Control for a length beating, and I think Climate Control is going to be a better horse over 2,000 metres. He's a one-start over the trip. That was in the Derby trial where he wasn't disgraced behind Son of Raj. Whereas Zuzan, I think, won with quite a bit in hand over 1,800 metres last time, but I think 2,000 metres on the stand-side track might just challenge him, although I have a lot of respect for Zuzan. He's actually developed into a fairly nice horse. And then you look at the Willow's Wish form, and Supreme Dance has quite comfortably got the edge over Tamara's Tree. So I'll be comfortable, even though the pick six is my suggested bet. I have to do it with a big pick six carryover. Don't want to be shortchanging punters who are chasing a potentially big payout. So from a bar pot perspective, I'm comfortable with 1 and 5. I think all lines of form suggest that they're the two that at least will run into the first two, at least one of them anyway.
I think horse number 2, Tababuya, could be worth an inclusion as well, given that he does enjoy the distance and he's ignored his last start, 56.5 on the back, and he has beaten Supreme Dance and Captain Chorus quite comfortably before. So I think number 2, Tababuya, could be worth an inclusion into race number 2, which is the start of the bipart. Race number 3, which is a Pinnacle Stakes over 1,000 meters, starts the place accumulator at 12.55. Current favourite, Master Archie. He's found a bit of early betting support, Master Archie. He shortened into 28-10 from an opening quote of 3-1. It's 3-1 about Big Burn, Bartoldi, 4s, 6-1 and better bar those. Now, it's good to see Master Archie back in action, Alistair. He's now back with the Peters. Craig Zaki aboard, and he wasn't quite the same horse that he was with the Peters once he moved to the Azzies. I remember one of the races where he was actually quite fancied in his penultimate start, and he didn't quite move down to the start the best. But if the Peters have him right, he's certainly a top-class individual. He won the computer form sprint, and he's a horse that can certainly put a field of this nature to bed if he's right.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. If he's right, he wins. Like so many others that left Paul Peter, the Master Archie was one of those top horses that obviously didn't quite go to the same heights. But now that he's back with Tony Peter, we've seen what Tony Peter's doing. It's incredible. It beggars belief. So number 1, Master Archie, as you say, if right, could very well do some damage here. Big Burn is a player as well. Excuse me, the dogs are very, very excited about Master Archie being back with Tony Peter. Now, I think Big Burn is also a player with a nice light weight, coming out of what's perceived to be the wrong side of the course, and especially with a bit of rain, draw 1 is not going to be too good for Big Burn either. But she's a very, very classy filly. What you've got to take into consideration is whose cup final is it? I don't think it's either Big Burn or Master Archie's, but that class could prevail. I'm always a big fan of number 2, Bartoldi, as well. He might just be the one to sneak up here in race number 3. So I have respect for him. He's not my top choice, but I'm always a keen follower of the Son of Active War.
Yeah, but Bartoli could certainly get involved into the mix here. He's got a bit of a weight turnaround with Big Burn on that penultimate start, which was at the Vaal, and he could certainly get a lot closer. What you make of Hit 'em Hard Sunshine now with the Stuart Pettigrew yard? He's obviously a horse that was highly regarded, or is still held in high regard by the Hollywood Syndicate and Eric Sands, but first run in new surroundings?
Yeah, it's obviously not going to be easy for him taking on these horses, but you'll learn a lot about him. I can see him getting a blow-in. I think that he could be a shrewd move by the Hollywood Syndicate to get him up to the half vault, because I think the fast sprint tracks will suit him down to the ground. Very interesting run at the Son of Water Winter. I obviously know Stuart Pettigrew very, very well. We're good mates. We chat a lot. We banter a lot. It wouldn't be his style to really hit them hard sunshine first time up to get him all guns blazing. There will be a plan with hit them hard sunshine. So just knowing Stuart the way that I do, expect him to run well, but with meat on the bone and follow in the future.
Certainly keep an eye on horse number 7, Hit 'em Hard Sunshine from the Stuart Pettigrew yard. A competitive event. Master Archie, if he's right, he could possibly win. Big Burn, Bartoldi, horses in with chances in race number 3. Now, next up, we're going to move along to race number 4, which is a middle stakes. The start of the pick 6 over 1,400 meters. And Alistair has suggested a pick 6 for the guys out there. So he'll certainly give us his numbers in race number 4. Favorite, Queen of Shadows, at 9-2, 5-1 Supreme Quest, in Indlamu 11-2, and Wafif 11-2 as well, and in 6-1 and better bar those. Now, Alistair, in this middle stakes, the fillies are the ones that are best weighted, Supreme Quest and Queen of Shadows. Supreme Quest, a very nice run last time out behind Captain Peg, much improved. Richard in the irons this time around, 58 on the back. And could she finally bounce back to winning ways in this company?
Yes, she definitely could. This is a very tricky opening leg of the pick six, and I think Richard Ferrier's booking on Supreme Quest is very notable. I'm intrigued to see how the Captain Peg form is going to work, because I didn't like Captain Peg all that much when winning, giving weight to some very, very nice horses, and it was a blanket finish. But with that said, I thought Supreme Quest showed a little bit of her old spark. As we all know, she was a very promising 2-year-old. Is she the highest earner in the race? Yeah, she is, quite comfortably, thanks to a win on Hollywoodbets Durbanville behind closed doors a couple of years ago. And it certainly looks like she's back to best. She's obviously not the most reliable, but I think when she's in form, she's a seriously dangerous proposition. I have no real feel for this race. I think number 7, Queen of Shadows, another filly. I hate being predictable in these middle stakes, but as you mentioned, the fillies do have a good weight turnaround. I thought Queen of Shadows was particularly unlucky in her penultimate start behind Clafouti. I know that had the race gone on further, Clafouti wins easier, but with that said, I thought Queen of Shadows had her own hard luck stories towards the outside on that occasion. I think that she's just bubbling under the radar. She's earned a bit of black tap, which is obviously a big mission accomplished for all connections. And then last time in the Jacaranda, again, just got outstayed really by Bureau de Legendre, who went to the front and galloped the rest of the field into the ground. Dropping in distance is a slight worry, but she's won over the strip before, but it looks like as she's matured, she's lost a little bit of that natural pace and sees off her races a bit better. And another very interesting runner. I mean, I've done the show with you a lot, and Bard of Avon's run a lot and not won, and I've always been on side of number 4, Bard of Avon. I'm not going to let him run loose. I don't think he's far away from winning. I think if not winning, he'll run well. And I spoke to Ashwin Reynolds at the Val on Thursday, and well, when he's in town, watch out. There's a reason why he's around. So I think maybe there's something going on with number 4, Bard of Avon. Got lots of horses in the opening leg with the pick 6. I think you have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 10 for me.
Alistair, taking no chances in the first leg of the pick 6. It's all about getting through the first leg and then trying to catch it at the back end. But race number 4, a tricky start, and it's all up to you how you're going to structure the first leg of the pick 6. Now, race number 5, which is the first feature on the afternoon, over 1100 meters. Get your bets on for race number 5 by 2:05. This is the start of Jackpot 1, and it is the Europa Point Man of War Sprint, a grade 3 event, and we see some top quality individuals take on one another here. Start of Jackpot 1, Gobsmacked back in action. She's your favorite at 28-10. Obviously lost that unbeaten record last time out behind Alula Star. A bit unlucky, but she tried her best. Mercantor back to winning ways last time out. A very nice victory from this individual. He's at 9-2. Maharani 5-1. Quantum Theory 11-2, along with Faraway Winter 7-1 and better bar those. Now, Alistair, I was quite impressed the way Mercantor won last time out. I thought he had a big chance and he won a very nice race. He's gone up 7 points for that victory, which I think could just be a bit harsh. Could be a bit harshly treated by the handicapper for that win. But nonetheless, I think that he can go in once again. And then obviously Gobsmacked, the horse that we all interested to see back in action.
Yeah, Gobsmacked's obviously the key here. Just a quick word about Mercantor. I think he was, I know that you shouldn't handicap retrospectively, but I think he was handicapped retrospectively, because in the Joburg Spring Challenge, when he ran, what was that, less than 5 lengths behind William Robertson, he ran so far above his handicap rating, he couldn't.
Yeah, horse number 1, Mercantor.
Penalty. I think he ran to about a 1-1-4, if I'm mistaken, or even
yes. Yeah, I remember that race, Alistair, and then they obviously didn't penalise him for that.
Yeah, sorry, Rahil. And then I think last time with the win, the handicapper was just waiting for him to win the race, or win a race, and then with the merits in which he won, I think the handicapper quite enjoyed that to get him to what he's capable of. I don't know if he's been handicapped out of it. He's a very good sprinter. He's held in high regard for he sticks with him, big runner. There's a lot of positivity about number 2, Quantum Theory, by the way. At the Val on Thursday, he was all the rage. Everyone's saying Quantum Theory, second on after a race, big last run to William Robertson. Watch out, he's popping for this race. So please take that on board. He's drawn towards the middle, which I don't think will be too much of an issue. And actually, even though he hasn't run in the wet, this distance might be a little bit sharp for him, but the kind of conditions, the sting out the ground, will probably just challenge those out-and-out sprinters like number 3, Gobsmacked, who's a very, very good filly. As I mentioned at the top of discussing this race, her fitness, her well-being is obviously key here. The form of the Magnolia is strong. Alula Star came out and won another feature race. Miss Cool, another subsequent winner in behind. So that's one of the strongest sprint pieces of form in the country, certainly from a filly's perspective. And then I was very, very keen on Faraway Winter's last run to roll with the punches. Another stride, he wins. I haven't seen a horse finish off a race like that and yielding going for a very, very long time. So you'd want to be on side with number 5, Faraway Winter. I've gone 1, 2, 3, and 5, all 3-year-old. Well, this race obviously caters for 3-year-olds, but all very good 3-year-olds in their own right. I think it's a matter of which one is going to produce best in the likely sticky going. And that could well end up being number 2, Quantum Theory.
I've included horse number 4, Maharani, into the mix as well. 2 from 2 in the wet conditions, and her last start was very encouraging, and perhaps she's a horse that could just be back to her best now. So I haven't discounted her chances in race number 5. And Alistair mentioning numbers 1, 2, 3, and 5, and that's these are 4 numbers in race number 5. Now next up, we're going to move along to race number 6, which is a grade 1 over 1600 meters. It is the HF Oppenheimer Horse Chestnut Stakes, a quality event where we've got some nice horses on show here, Alistair. Graded horses, and Golden Ducat, Golden Ducat, 9-2, your favorite. First run for Mike de Kock. It's going to be interesting to see how he goes. First run up in the high felt. 9-2 Anfield's Rocket. We all know he stays after a very nice win in the Classic. 5-1 Puerto Manzano, Under Your Spell. 6-1 about Bingwa, Trip of Fortune. I've got numbers 1, 2, 7, and 9 in my jackpot here, and I think I could be safe with those numbers. But what's your take on race number 6?
We've read this very differently. We've gone 7 and 9 as our common numbers. I've included 5 Trip of Fortune and also number 6 Red Saxon into the play here. Just with regard to Trip of Fortune, Candice Bass Robinson is in town. Trip of Fortune has been boarding with Ashley Fortune for the last few weeks, I think it's been. And remember,
Alistair did mention that, just lost a bit of connection, but yeah, Alistair, go.
Yeah, just with regard to Trip of Fortune, obviously the winner of the Greenpoint Stakes, beating Group 1 winners along the way. I think he was probably outgunned in the King's Plate when I think he came back to his field. But his last run in the Diadem Stakes probably sets him up nicely for this run. I believe this race has been on the horizon for a long time to try and get a Group 1 win under the belt for a horse who's obviously very, very good. When I keep coming back to this race, which horse I think is going to be looking for races in the future and which horse is going to be best suited to the grade 1 on offer on the 1st of April. I've got a feeling that might be Red Saxon, because I think that he's best up to 1,800 metres. I know that he's run over 2,000 metres and not been disgraced in races like the Daily News, but I'm still of the opinion that this is probably his absolute best. Turffontein 1,800 metres. So, and Joey Soma's form is absolutely incredible at the moment. The deep draw is a little bit of a concern, but he stayed on behind Under Your Spell last time out. And even though there's only 1 kilo turnaround in favour of Red Saxon, I wouldn't be surprised if he is just absolutely targeting this race. This is a win at all costs for number 6 Red Saxon. Big respect for the 3-year-old number 7 Anfield's Rocket. He's in my play. His win in the Classic was out of the top draw. And the dynamic now with everyone starting to think of Hollywoodbets Durbanville with anti-post betting being out, this could be one of the first indications how the 3-year-olds shape up with their older rivals. So number 7 Anfield's Rocket, if he runs big, all of a sudden everyone's going to be shopping around for the 3-year-olds. And then number 9 on the card, Under Your Spell, top winner last time. I know that she'll be targeting the Empress Club and also Hollywoodbets Scottsville, so there's big prizes in the pipeline for number 9, Under Your Spell. If she wins here, she could be in for a huge season ahead. Not that she's done anything wrong thus far. She's 2 from 3 so far this year. So big chance as well, number 9, Under Your Spell. She just keeps getting better and better and not really defying belief. But, when she was a good forward 2-year-old, people would have been forgiven for thinking, well, she's not really going to train on. Well, boy, has she trained on, and she's just continued this incredibly impressive career, the CV that she's got.
Yeah, she certainly is top class. She's an 8-time winner from 19 starts. I'll tell you why I've gone with numbers 1 and 2. I just get the feel that Bingwa, Puerto Manzano, they over 1,600 meters at level weights. I think they have Red Saxon's measure, but we have to wait and see how race number 6 unfolds on Saturday. It's going to be a cracking event, and we look forward to probably a close finish for Alistair to call home. Now, race number 7, which is the Grade 1. It is the World Sports Betting SA Derby, 2,450 meters. This is the start of Jackpot 2. I've got numbers 1, 4, 5, 10. Billy Bowlegs, your favorite, at 28 to 10. 7 to 2, Eye of the Prophet, Good Counsel. Son of Raj at 11 to 2. And then it's 12 to 1 and Better Bar. Those now, Alistair, I saw that the one number that we are common with, and that's number 4, Electric Gold. We're sticking with this horse at 14 to 1. He could just be the roughie in this lineup, given that we know his main aim has probably been this race here.
Yeah, and he'll stay all day. It was all wrong last time out. It just wasn't his performance. And I think he will run a lot better. If you look at his run in the Guineas, he just shakes as a Derby horse. I'm willing to give him another chance with Muzi Yeni back on board for Sean Terry. Sean knows how to win this race. I think number 4, Electric Gold, is a big runner. My top choice here is number 2, Eye of the Prophet, but with not much conviction, I must be honest. If you watch the Classic again, Eye of the Prophet was particularly unlucky. Does he beat Anfield's Rocket? No, but I think he runs second. And I think that would do him a lot more favours for his followers coming into this race. So number 2, Eye of the Prophet. I don't know whether he stays. It's going to be more challenging in sticky conditions, yes, but I like enough of what I saw in the South African Classic last time to give him a shot over this trip. And then number 1, Billy Bowlegs. And I was so disappointed with his run. Even though he ran a great third, I was all in on Billy Bowlegs for the Classic. I was preaching him for months. If he goes 2-4-5-0, and he should, another big player, he was finishing off his race nicely. The bad draw did him no favours. Gavin Larena takes over. There's a lot to like about number 1, Billy Bowlegs as well. So I'm holding it to 3 horses here. Even though I know number 5, Good Counsel, stays, I think he got away with it last time, was setting his own pace and no one willing to challenge him. And I think number 10, Son of Raj, I'm not mad about that Derby trial form. I know it was a good win. I know Wayo Mowing's brilliant with stayers. He loves this race. He's won this race numerous times before with horses at bigger prices with less form than Son of Raj. But I think he's taken the easier route than those that have run in the first 2 legs of the World Sports Betting Triple Crown.
I think just Keegan DeMello sticking with the ride once again, that's got to be a huge positive in the camp of Son of Raj. And Keegan, he's riding so well at the moment, and a Grade 1 victory to his CV, another one this season, that could certainly be on the cards for Keegan. But race number 7, it's going to be a very nice race. Billy Bowlegs, Alistair, hoping that he can go 2 better than he did last time out. Race number 8 now, and this is the Wilkebos Drift, Bridget Oppenheimer Oaks, 2,450 meters. And it is a Grade 2 event, unlike the Derby for the Colson Galdins. Bless My Stars, 18 to 10. None other, 4 to 1. 13 to 2 about Silvales, 8 to 1 and Better Bar. Those now I've just gone with numbers 1 and 6 here. The stable companions. I see that you've gone with number 6, Silver Hill. She could certainly be the value in the race now at a current price of 13 to 2. And we know that Sean Terry, he's made it no secret. This filly is going for the Oaks, and Gavin Larena aboard once again.
Raheel Nick on the block here. I think Silver Hills beats her stable companion. I think they'll run 1-2, despite the noise coming out of the Yazzie camp with number 2, Lady of Power. I can't see her staying, but she's obviously a good filly. But my opinion is no, not over a mile and a half. Number 6, Silver Hills. When you watch that filly's Classic again, she moved up with so much in hand, and she kind of just stayed on over the closing stages. I think had the race been another 600 metres, I think she runs down the top 2. Featherboa ran an absolute ripper just a week ago to Humdinger, and obviously Desert Miracle was in that race. Sparkling Water was in that race. So yeah. 1 to 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 1
Yeah, Silver Hills ran a nice race, and she can certainly build on that performance that fought behind. Yeah, she's certainly going to be a big run in this lineup, Alistair, and the 2-4. And a few races down in KZN could possibly be on the cards for Silver Hills if she does come out of this, obviously, victorious.
Yeah, my worry about her in KZN is whether she'll be able to handle the turning Hollywoodbets Greyville course. I think, Claire would still be around. There'd be big races for the taking. If I know Sean Terry, he's not going to die wondering. I'm sure Silver Hills will line up in big races. But I think the way that she gradually warms into a race, she'll be better suited on a galloping track. But Sean Terry's multiple trainer of South Africa for a reason, and I'm not. So I'm sure there'll be a plan out of this win, lose, or draw.
That's horse number 6, Silver Hills. Going to be the top choice for Alistair. And number 1, Bless My Stars. He expects that to run second. So 6x1, that's going to be his top 2 selections in race number 8. Now race number 9, which is the World Sports Betting Caradoc Gold Cup, a grade 3 event over 2,850 meters. Your favorite is Shangani and Nabras at 18-10. And then it's 8-1 and better bar those. Now, Nabras, he's on the quick backup 7 days later after he was beaten behind stable companion Rain in Holland. I know that he is better off at the weights with Shangani, but I just get the feel that Shangani's last start was so impressive. They've given him a nice race of 56 days, and even though he has to concede 2 kgs to Nabras, I think he could be too strong in this lineup.
I like Nabras, Rahil. I really like Nabras here. We saw on Thursday, prime example, in the back of 5 days off, coming out and backing up and winning. I don't think trainers have got as much work into their horses as they would have liked, and I think Sean Terry's got a little bit of an edge here, having a horse running a week ago. So even though I respect the chances of number 1, Shangani, I think what you've got to also remember about Shangani last time is that he was given such a soft lead in a small field, and even though he gave Imperial Master 12 kilos, Imperial Master's just run places since. So I think he got away with one last time. He'll be better for that run, there's absolutely no doubt, and the extra trip will help him as well. And his record in the wet is exemplary. He's a 66 2/3 win record in the soft conditions. So yes, number 1 Shangani, huge respect, but I think the edge might just be with number 2 Nabras this time around. I don't know if he was catching a stable companion last time in the form of Rain in Holland. He just seemed to stay the same margin behind. But look, Sean Terry, I know, is of the opinion that Nabras is not just pigeonholed into a stayer. He believes that 2,000, 1,800 meters, he can win a big race with number 2 Nabras. I think that he is not taking that away from him. I think he can win a big race over those distances, but I think if he is ever going to win one of the big races of South Africa, it's more likely to be a Gold Cup, a Gold Bull, as opposed to a Hollywoodbets Durbanville. So number 2 Nabras with the fitness edge, my top choice. Huge respect for number 1 Shangani. Just the 2 of them for me.
Yeah, it certainly does look to be a 2-horse race between numbers 1 and 2. Alistair and myself, we're in opposite camps here. He's with the 2, I'm with the 1, and hopefully some exactors manage to come through in race number 9. Now, race number 10, which is the final race on the day, Berry Blaze MR 76 handicap over 1,160 meters. Favorite number 4, Storm Dictator at 3-1. Black Egret 7-2. Tiz Magic, she's found support to the market 9-2 into 7-2, and then it's 8-1 and better bar those. Black Egret over 1450 last time out. I thought it was a fair run, beaten behind Tazona. Another recruit, Tony Peter, banging the winners enclosure first start, and that was a very nice win from Tazona. I just feel that back to a sprint could just be the right move from the team with Black Egret.
Yeah, I agree with you here, Rahil. I've narrowed this down to 2.5 runners, to be fair, with 1 Black Egret and 4 Storm Dictator, the 2 main horses. And then I do have a bit of respect here, funny enough, for number 9 Thambi. I think he'll run better. He might not be able to win, but I think he'll run better than he did last time, which only came a week ago. Number 1 Black Egret, I think it was worth a go, especially from a good draw. And I think in time he won't have any issue going 1,400 meters in a mile. But I think for now, while he's winning and running well over the sprints, there's no reason to chop and change. Drawn towards the inside, a bit of a worry. So number 9 Storm Dictator, who obviously chased a stable companion home last time, that was a bit of a controversial race, and drawn towards the outside. I think he showed all the attributes of being a horse who's ready to win. He travelled nicely and just got outrun by a horse probably in better form with a bit more confidence, a bit more fitness on his side. So I think number 4, Storm Dictator, is probably the one over number 1, Black Eagles. I think Dambi, I know that he won a decidedly average maiden on the 29th of May, and he's not quite reached those heights since, but I think he first of all needed his first 2 or maybe even his first 3 runs back after a very, very long layoff, and there was a bit of sign of life last time, just a week ago. I'm not saying he'll win the race, but I think he's the nice quartet inclusion. You know, if you do get a result 1-4, 8, you'll need something to make the quartet pay, and I think that could be number 9, Dambi.
Dambi at around 16 to 1 in the market, but number 1, Black Egret, number 4, Storm Dictator could certainly be the 2 horses to fight out the finish. Now we're going to move along to the suggested bets part of the show, and Alistair will take us through his pick 6 for the day, which kicks off in race number 4. Alistair, take it away.
Yeah, it's a big pick 6 carryover on the card. 130 is when bets need to be struck by. The estimated pool is 6 million rand, so I'm hoping to get a piece of that. I've not played to be a 1-ticket winner. I've played just to win the pick 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 10 in the first leg. So Ndlamo, Willow Express with Fief, Barter Vaven, Supreme Quest, Queen of Shadows, and Turpits of a lightweight are in the first leg of the pick 6. Second leg, race number 5. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 5. Mercantile, Quantum Theory, Gobsmacked, and Faraway Winter. Then in race number 6, the HF Oppenheimer Horse Chestnut Stakes 5, 6, 7, and 9. So those are Triple Fortune, Red Saxon, Anfield's Rocket, and Under Your Spell. By 1, 2, and 4 in the World Sports Betting SA Derby. So those are Billy Bowling's Eye of the Prophets and Electric Gold. By banker number 6, Silver Hills, and then the final leg 1 and 2.
That's Alistair's pick 6, and I've gone for a jackpot. That's jackpot 1, starting in race number 5. I've got numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, by numbers 1, 2, 7, and 9, by 1, 4, 5, and 10, and then a last leg numbers 1 and 6. That's Bless My Stars and Silver Hills, and that's my jackpot 1. Alistair, thanks very much for your time, and all the best. Have a good weekend. That's Alistair giving us...
Thanks for Saturday. Apologies for the dog. They were very excited, and looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Dogs started barking once we mentioned Master Archie, and hopefully Master Archie's right to run an absolute cracker. All the best, guys. 10 races on the program come Saturday at Turffontein, which is the 1st of April.